Last time I saw this man, he was wearing a three-piece suit hanging out with us on NFL Game Day morning in the playoffs, having just finished his 12th year in the National Football League. Kyle Van Noy is here. How you doing, Kyle?
Yeah, buddy.
Hey, thanks for having me. Let's go, man. Today's gonna be a great day.
It is that, man. I don't have my mug here in front of me, but I appreciate the branding. KVN on your lid, huh? What do we got here?
Yes.
What do we got here?
So,
Let's sell some soap. What do we got?
I'm not selling anything. This hat is from my mentor. He owns and breeds horses.
Okay.
And he had a horse that's the KVN Corona horse. Very famous in the quarter horse world.
Okay.
It's a champion. It's won $2 million. It's bred a lot of babies. And so it's a very, very good hat. A lot of winners from this guy right here. He's produced a lot of babies. Fun fact.
Yes.
One of my former teammates actually bought one of the embryos of KVN Corona. Shout out to my guy, Devon Godshaw.
Okay, great. Well, you've inspired me. Hold on a minute. I now have my Rich Eisen mug here. Let me take my Rich Eisen coffee container with ESPN on the side. Let me pour my coffee in here. Okay, there we go.
I see
awesome.
you.
It's nice and hot and fresh. Look at me. See?
Look at you go.
Look at us branding. Cheers to you, sir. Cheers to you. Ooh. That tastes good. Now we can talk football. What did you think of the Seattle Seahawks defensive performance in Super Bowl 60? Kyle Van Noy, what'd you think?
I thought it was spectacular. I mean, it was exactly DNA from Mike McDonald. One thing that I want to point out that I think he learned from the Seahawks game was to always be aggressive. I think in that game, you saw him. I don't think he was as aggressive as he was in the Patriots, in the Rams game. He wasn't as aggressive as he was in the Super Bowl. As you saw, he was sending pressure a lot. Devin Witherspoon, I thought he had a tremendous game. I felt like they were all over him. Hall had a great game. And then, the guys of where I'm going to say it on your show, I honestly think that the premier position is slowly moving from edge and slowly moving to D tackle. You saw Byron Murphy have a wonderful game. Leonard Williams, I know his stats weren't off the chart, but he was eating a lot of double teams that was allowing Byron Murphy to get one-on-ones, Lawrence to get one-on-ones, and Hall getting one-on-ones, creating a lot of havoc. I really believe that's where the NFL is going right now because quarterbacks are getting the ball out so fast in today's game where the premier position is slowly moving from edge and it's going to be the premier position of the D tackle. You saw both sides of the defense, the Patriots, who actually had a really good game too. Barmore, Milton Williams, they're the key to their success. They didn't have the best game. They ran the ball. The Seahawks did a little too well for my liking, but they still were very impactful. Christian Gonzalez had a great game, but Mike Mack, he didn't want to go out like he was trending towards in the Rams game where Matthew Stafford had a heyday against that defense. He was really aggressive and made it really, really hard on Drake Maye. And, I always look at the play where he got hit on the sideline and he was, Mike Vrabel picks him up and, his shoulder was hurting. You could tell at that moment he was in a bad place. And, I honestly think I'm very high on Drake Maye. I think he's going to be tremendous. I just think he ran into a buzzsaw against the Seahawks.
All right, I want to bite on what you just mentioned. If I'm picking up what you're putting down, Kyle Van Noy, you're saying the quick game and the quarterback's ability to read a defense or get the ball out fast has developed so significantly in the NFL that edge rushers are too far away from the quarterback, and thus the guys up front are the ones who can create the most pressure that we all know quarterbacks hate the most, which is right in their face. Is that what I'm picking up from you right now?
I just see it slowly moving from the Myles Garretts of the world, the Micah Parsons of the world. Like I think they're unbelievable. I think they're one-on-one But I truly think if you really want to build contenders and be in that final game, you need that Aaron Donald, you need that Warren Sapp like player on the inside, you need that Byron Murphy, Leonard Williams, Christian Barmore, Milton Williams. You're going to need those guys in the middle at the three technique position to get pressure. I mean, that allows those guys on the edge to get really loose. You look at the Broncos defense, Zach Allen, he kind of gets overshadowed a little bit from Nick Bonito and Cooper on the edges. John Franklin Myers had a hell of a year. Those guys of the damage that they do on the inside allows those edge guys to do whatever they like to do. So I really see it being, a D tackle world of where people are going. You got the likes of Carter, who's about to get highly paid. I mean, he's another one of those guys that's in that upper echelon. You look at the Chiefs, why they've had so much success. I really believe it's because of Chris Jones, where it starts on the inside being a damaged player. I put him right underneath Aaron Donald in this decade of the D tackle position. I really believe it's going to be the big future. You need this to win a Super Bowl. I really believe that. Edges, let's not get this mistake. I play
Yes.
edge, so I don't want to downplay the significance of that because you definitely need trenches, and more trenches. I just believe that you need a highly impactful player on the inside to help the edge rushers. I mean, we saw Myles Garrett this year, what he did this year, best year he's had because he had Malik Collins, because he had Graham on the inside. It's allowed them to the quarterback to get that pressure just for a split second right in the middle to allow the edge pressure on the perimeter.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess you're officially now on Chris Jones and Jeffrey Simmons, Matabike's Christmas card list. I mean, let's keep going.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're not extended, they might be franchise tag candidates, and you just might have made them a bit more coin, Kyle Van Noy. Maybe you just got that thing done.
Thank you for bringing up Jeffrey Simmons. He was the best D tackle in the league this year. He was phenomenal, just so disruptive, game changer. You need one of those guys definitely on your defense right now going forward.
Kyle Van Noy here on the Rich Eisen Show. What about you? What's your scoop? 12 years in, what do we got now? What's happening with you?
Maybe I'll come there. Okay. I know I saw you had a couple of guys at the desk next to you. Maybe you can make a third spot. Maybe.
Okay.
All
right. Okay. Okay. I don't know. I mean, TJ's not here today.
That's right.
I mean, is he suddenly the Wally Pipp of the Rich Eisen Show right now?
No, an empty chair.
I mean,
Kyle, want to pop in tomorrow? You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. How close are you to California, Kyle?
I could get there ASAP. If you need me, I'm there.
I mean, he's not here tomorrow also.
That's what I mean. So, we have a spot open.
Kim Fields is on in hour 3. If you want to go, if you want to go deep down memory lane before you were born, probably, Kyle.
Maybe what time? And I think I can be there for you.
This is fun. TJ, like who's TJ Jefferson? But so that's what are you focused on the paparazzi, or you think you want to play a little bit more, or what? Sorry,
I would love
to
play. No, of course. Sure. I would love to play more. I know my season didn't go the way that I wanted at all. It was one of those seasons that was hard for a lot of us, especially on defense this year. Didn't go the way we wanted to on defense with the Ravens. And personally, my statistics weren't where they have been in the last couple years, let alone all of my career. I still have a lot of juice left. I still feel like I'm disruptive. I still feel like I can be a starter in the NFL. And it was just one of those years that everyone's going to say all these things. Oh, he's washed. They've been saying that for the last, 5 years, since I left New England in 2019 and went to Miami in 20 and, was beat up that year and went back to New England in 21. So they've been saying a lot of things for a long time. And I'm not one of those guys where it's like, I don't look at that stuff. Like, I'll look at it, but at the end of the day, I'm trying to make the people that are in my corner right. I'm trying to make the people that I surround myself proud. Um, and I know I do that already, but I just feel like there's a little left in the tank for me. You know, I'm a free agent, so this March, hopefully, I'll get some news, and if not, we'll keep the phone on hot. You know, because I know there's going to be a team at some point that's going to need pass rush, and I know I'm able and capable to do it at a high level still, and just given the right opportunity in the right situation, I really truly believe that I can be another one of those guys at 35 to get that 10 plus sacks. I know it hasn't been done once or a lot, but at 33, I had 12 and a half, and no one ever thought I'd be in the Pro Bowl at 33 years old. So why not me?
Kyle Van Noy here, a few minutes left with the free agent linebacker, KVN, right here on the Rich Eisen Show. So Jesse Minter, you know he is from the Ravens organization before he went with Jim to Michigan and then to the Chargers. Now he's back as the successor to John Harbaugh. So let's take it one piece at a time. Were you surprised that John Harbaugh was fired and let go in Baltimore, Kyle?
Honestly, no, I wasn't, just because of what had transpired. I mean, you go from the AFC Championship, the divisional round, to not making the playoffs, and you know, I obviously have stayed out of the situation, but just seeing from bird's eye view, if I'm an owner, I got to take a look at that. And not saying he's not successful, because he's been wildly successful. I think he's going to be successful in New York. I think he's exactly who New York needs. They need a foundation piece. You need a strong, spearheaded man like he is, a God-fearing man like him, to put and install what he does best, which is create a lot of good football players. He's had a lot of success. He's had a lot of good football players that he's had, and he's been able to win a lot of games. And I think him pairing up with the defense that they have there with a guy like Jackson Dart, and we'll see how Cam Scatterboo and Neighbors come back from injury, but having a guy that has the charisma and the aura a little bit like Jackson Dart has, and just that want to get it done. You can really tell by the way he plays. I want him to slide a little bit more, because he's going to continue to get injured and dinged up if he keeps taking hits like he does. But I really think Jackson Dart has a chance. He needs to continue to, help himself out a little bit from a standpoint of, throwing the ball down the field. And I think they need to get more weapons for him. But I believe John Harbaugh is going to help with all that. And I'm excited to see what he does. But I wasn't surprised, because you have a small window of a Super Bowl chance. You have Lamar Jackson. You have guys like Kyle Hamilton and Roquan Smith on defense. You have Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, Ronnie Stanley, who's been there for a while. You have a lot of good players.
Yeah.
And so they're primed to be in contention if they play complementary football. I feel like last year we didn't play complementary football at all. Not one game. You could say the Bears game was the best complementary football game. And I think Jesse Minter is going to bring that complementary football with Declan over at the OC. I really think they're going to work hand in hand, as well as Anthony Weaver at the DC position. And I also got to shout out co-cap Anthony Levine. That dude earned that special teams coordinator position. Truly one of the up-and-coming coaches in the NFL. I was really happy to see him get what he deserves. I'm really high on him. So I like the direction where they're going. I saw their press conference the other day. I was very impressed with all three of them, and I'm pumped for the Ravens organization, because they're first class. They really are. Their fans are amazing. And I really, really believe that they'll be in contention for that Super Bowl next year.
Hey, Kyle, I'm with you. I had a power rankings yesterday of all the 10 new head coaches and which would be the organization and head coach and roster to be most likely the the franchise to go on a Vrabel-like run in his first year of success, if not all the way to the Super Bowl, and I chose the Ravens. And so just to circle back a little bit on what you just said, the lack of complimentary football all last year, the AFC Championship game, yes, there was a fumble right on the goal line, but there was hardly a touch by Derrick Henry in this game. And then the divisional round, it just always seems to be the loss the last 2 years ago now. There always used to be like a head scratcher. Like, how did that happen? Would be the conversation coming out of Ravens games. Was that a conversation that the players were having away from the cameras,
the way you
Kyle?
just kind of scratched yourself is the same way I was scratching my head too. It's really something that I can't even put into words just because it is what it is. It's like craziness. I mean, you can go even before I even got there from, the round that they had with Buffalo, the pick six with Johnson that happened, or the Bengals where they're on the goal line about to score and then Hubbard runs it 99 yards back for a touchdown. I mean, a lot of head scratches where you're just like, WTF, Rich? I don't know.
Right. And so the question is how does Minter change that, right? And how much of that can you lay at the feet of the guy who was there for 18 seasons? The freak stuff, like you mentioned, where Hubbard grabs it out of the air and he's going the other way, or Zay Flowers is going in the end zone and it would have been a one-score game and we're on and cracking in the AFC Championship game. I mean, those things happen, but the game plan stuff, like mid-game, where it would just be, how the heck did Derrick Henry hardly get a touch here?
And that's where the discussions that are going to need to be had, right? The in-game adjustments need to be better. They really do. I believe Minter is going to bring that.
Okay.
I really believe that's what separates him. Knowing what tree he's from and the success he's had over the last 2 seasons as D coordinator, and he said he's going to call plays again. I really believe that he's going to have that in-game strategy that you need to have in order to beat these top offensive coordinators. And then he's bringing a young OC in the building. I believe he's 29 years old. So he's going to be ready to roll. I mean, he said that he wants 3 things, and 2 of those I know is to play violent football on offense, to score a lot of points and be explosive, and then to execute. Those were the 3 things that when he was talking, that's what came to mind. That would get me excited if I was a fan or if I was a player in that offense, because they're going to be high-powered, ready to go. You have Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews. You have guys like that can really put up points. I really think you need one more guy on the outside. And not overcrowd it, because I truly believe that was something that I watched. I believe there was a lot of mouths to feed, and so you can't make everybody happy. And sometimes when you have a lot of mouths to feed, it's hard to get in a rhythm because you're going in a lot of different directions. I really think it really starts with Derrick Henry. You got to feed him the ball, and it's a run-first offense. And then you got to be able to hit that play action. And that's what Lamar was really, really dangerous in 23 and 24 last year. Obviously, he wasn't where we all saw him previous years. And I think a lot of that attributed to the injuries he suffered. And so I'm excited because I really believe Lamar Jackson does have another level. But I want to focus on the defense, because I think that's where it needs to get back to where they've had success in the past. But I think defense, you get it. Hopefully they get Nnamdi back. That would help out huge. You got the guys of like Kyle Hamilton, Malachi Starks taking that next step. Nate Wiggins, who I'm high on, he needs to take that next step. I really believe he can be a one-of-one corner with his length, size, and speed. So I'm excited to see them and what Jesse Minter does on that side of the ball with those players, especially with Kyle Hamilton. Let's take him to a next level. I want to see him play more safety than down in the box this year. I want to see him kind of do it all.
Yeah, Derwin James spoke very highly of Minter, and obviously he Kyle Hamilton's going to be in that similar position in Baltimore. Kyle, thanks for the time. I know you referred to Baltimore a handful of times in this conversation as they. Hopefully you get to call them we if that's what you'd like, and if not, then another team that you call we in short order, sir. Thanks for the time.
You. Yep.
You
Appreciate it. Have a blessed one. Maybe see you tomorrow.
Okay.
That's right.
We'll send you directions. You know how to find us. Kyle Van Noy right here on the Rich Eisen Show.